Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to the Demon's Souls livestream series. There is something that I wanted to talk about, and it does indeed relate to Demon's Souls as a video game, but, yeah, it's weird because I really should have talked about it last time I went live in this game, which was last week, but I didn't for some reason. I must have been so focused on the build that I was trying to complete, that I completely forgot to talk about it. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say that yes, the title of this video should indicate to you that we are going to be doing a spiked shield build. This is going to be a little bit miserable, to be honest with you, because the spiked shield, in case you needed me to tell you, is not a very good weapon. It is intended to be used as a shield, and even then it's not a very good weapon as a shield. But to use it as an offensive item is just not, well, an offensive piece of equipment is really not intended. And we will be doing that. So, yeah, obviously, we need to have the ability to attack people in order to complete the game. So we can't have a spiked shield build and only have it be used as a defensive item. So therefore, we will be using it as a regular offensive weapon. So I'm not really looking forward to it. I want to do it because it's interesting. It's not something that I've personally done before. So it's not like I'm forcing myself to do it knowing that I'm going to really hate it. There is definitely an aspect to this that I think I'm going to enjoy, but that may very well wear off during the course of one single recording, and there will probably be another 4 or 5 after that. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to get my chat up and I will get to talking about what I was meaning to talk about in the last video, but obviously I'd completely forgotten to do so. Okay, what do we got going on here? Nothing, that's alright. I haven't been live in, like, over a week, so it's fair. Can't expect you guys to tune in immediately. Okay. Making sure everything's alright. Yeah, everything seems fine to me. I'll be selecting new game. Oh yes, I do need to lower the volume of my television. Everything is not alright. There's always something, isn't there? I'll be back in just a moment. As I've mentioned before, my stream setup is something of an obstacle course. So yeah. That's why I'm always awkwardly getting into my seat. Also, if you're wondering why it takes so fucking long for this to load, whereas with every other version of the game that I play, of which there are 3 apart from this one, the answer is, for some reason the Atlus version just can't fucking handle the fact that there's no server. All the other games are fine. It takes a maximum of 5 seconds for the other game. I mean, I'm saying 5 seconds to be really generous. But these other versions of the game take probably around 3 seconds to determine that the servers are offline. Easy. Done. We can move on. Whereas these fucking assholes, like, it's like a team of people apparently. No, the point is that the Atlus version of the game for some reason tries to find the server for like 15 seconds. Okay, I don't have 15 seconds of time available to me. I'm a busy man. Anyway, so I guess we'll be a male. Sounds about right. I haven't thought of a name. I never think of a name before I record. Let's call him Alfred. I don't know where that name came from, just I saw the letter A and I thought, what name starts with A? And Alfred shot into my mind, so we'll go with Alfred. But, yeah. Well, yes, that's right. Potato, that is exactly what I was about to talk about. And I was actually discussing this last week on my Discord server. I actually made the announcement that if Demon's Souls were coming on PlayStation 4, I would be getting it on launch. I would get a PlayStation 4 second-hand at a low price and buy the game and play it as it released. Now, my theory as to why it's more in the rumor environment at the moment as opposed to official announcement is because it's not Sony's intention. Well, think about it. If Sony did want to bring a PS4 version of the game out to the public, it's not in their interest to advertise that too much, because they want to sell PlayStation 5 consoles. It's important for them to actually sell those, and Demon's Souls, as we've clearly been able to see, is intended to do that. So hypothetically if, and I personally think there is about a 50-50 chance that it will be coming to PS4, because there was a rumour earlier on that it would be coming, and then more recently, there was, I believe, I think it was a Dutch online game store had listed the PS4 version of Demon's Souls there, presumably by accident. I think those two things would indicate to me that there's a chance that it would be coming, and obviously, why am I saying alright? It's Alfred, not alright. Must be having some sort of other dialogue going on in my head. But the point is that if it were actually coming, the immediate question would be, well, why hasn't Sony confirmed it? The answer in my mind would be that they don't want to advertise it too much. What they'll probably end up doing is make it look as if it will exclusively be on the PlayStation 5, and then for the benefit of those who really can't get a PlayStation 5, like me, they will release the game on PS4. I will make it very clear that I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not expecting that to happen. I really don't know. I can hope, yeah, but I'm not expecting it. So, if the game releases and there's no PS4 version, I'm not going to be sitting here going, oh, fuck this, I hate Sony, I got my hopes up. None of that business. Because I had pretty much resolved to not play the new Demon's Souls game for the first, year or two, maybe even longer, of its initial release. So, if I really can't play it, that's fine. I still can't spell this name properly. Alfred, there we go. It's because I'm too busy talking, you see. Alfred. Here we go. But no, that's not where D is located, Doomlink, please. Alfred, here we go. So, anyway, new character, yeah. So basically how this series works, guess again, is that each time I do a build, you'll see if you go through the different parts of this series, there are different titles, and they differ based on the build. Each time I do a new build, that is a new character. So far, most of these builds have only been in New Game. Each time you complete the game, you go to another level of the game, which is the exact same game but harder, and that is New Game, the initial one, then it goes to New Game Plus, then New Game Plus 2, Plus 3, and so on. This is going to be a new game build with the spiked shield, so that's the situation. Well, it's good to know that you doubt it, Super Milkshake, but for me personally, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think there's about a 50-50 chance. And if it does actually come on PS4, then I will have my respect in Sony restored. There isn't too much respect that I have for Sony at the moment, but quite frankly, that would restore it. I would feel quite grateful that they would take the time to do that for the benefit of people like me, and it's not to say that I'm personally like a noticeable statistic on their spreadsheet, but what I mean to say is that there are obviously people out there who probably can't afford the game. Well, the game console, I should say. They can't afford the console at this time, so they would like for games such as Demon's Souls to be available on, say, the PS4, which obviously was the console where Bloodborne was present on. And obviously the question becomes, well, Doomlink, if you get a PS4, does that mean you'll play Bloodborne? Ha 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 ha. No. No. That does not mean that. At all. Okay, so let me make it clear that we need more or less a dexterity build here. It's a little odd because it would technically be better for me to infuse the spiked shield with Bladestone, but to make it worthwhile you really need to get it a +5 in the sharp Bladestone path, and we've established that getting pure Bladestone is a fucking nightmare, so I'm probably not going to force myself to do that. So I think I might actually forego the additional damage for the sake of avoiding unnecessary headache. And I think I'll just upgrade the spike shield normally. But anyway, I will probably also get 2 spike shields. Why? Because it would look funny. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't go one-handed fucking spike shield with a shielding spike shield in the other hand. I'd probably go two-handed with the offensive spiked shield, but just having the other spiked shield on my back, I think, would make it very clear that it is a spiked shield build. That's how I imagine it in my head. I'm not watching... This is your misunderstanding, Potato. I'm not watching anything of the new Demon's Souls game when it comes out, because I'm not going to be sitting here going, oh my god, this looks great, I can't play it, I wish I could play it. Like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm going to be playing this game, and I'm going to... Whether you people call it willful ignorance, I don't really care. I don't want to be sitting here kicking myself over the fact that I can't play the game, so... And also, I talked about this in my Monster Hunter recording. It's a very strange situation to be in, to have been playing the original game since before it even got an official English release. And now the whole fucking world is going to be playing the remake while I'm sitting here not playing it. That feels fucking weird, and I'm not going to make the situation worse for myself by sitting here watching everyone doing that, and watching the gameplay and going, oh my god, I can't play it. And for those who are not aware, no, I'm not spending like 750 to 800 Australian dollars just to play that game. Not happening. But you can play other games on the PS5, Doom Link. I don't want to. That's the point. I don't play a lot of games. So, yeah, it's not worth it for me. Anyway, what is the ideal dexterity build for me right now? Probably Wanderer. Probably. Has decent strength as well. Is the luck stat unnecessary? I've been told that the luck stat is glitched in Demon's Souls. It works more or less for the Blue Blood Blade as being a scaling, but as far as actually increasing drop rates, I don't think it works properly. I was told that many years ago back in my Skype PvP days, but so, what, 2011 or something? But, yeah, I'm thinking Wanderer. Let's just go with Wanderer. Let's not overthink it, shall we? Because really, it doesn't matter that much in the end, as long as we've got good starting dexterity. Podcast plans. Well, I never really resolved to do that, Potato, but I may do it at some point, who knows. One of the reasons why I'm not doing it is because, again, it does require a great deal of... you need to be resolved, you have to be driven to do it. And I'm not, so therefore I won't do it until I become driven to do it. Because that's the entire point, you can't succeed unless you are driven. Okay, what is it? Let's just go with this hairstyle, why not? I don't know what it is about this hairstyle, it looks a little feminine to me. For example, the tied back, like the swept back, not so much that. Where's this one here? This to me, actually no, that looks a bit feminine too, doesn't it? I was going to say this looks less feminine than this one, but I'd say they're about equally as feminine, to be honest. His name is Alfred. Let's give him red hair. I don't know what the correlation between red hair and the name Alfred is, but whatever. Let's just go with that. Apparently this hairstyle is called wavy. Look at this man. What a beautiful individual. Look at him. He looks like a heartthrob, doesn't he? maybe if I gave him blonde hair, he would be an absolute heartthrob. You know what? Let's do that. Let's give him blonde hair. The problem is you can't... I mean, this doesn't really look blonde, does it? It looks awful. Oh my god. Alfred. The thing is, you've got the juxtaposition of this name, which I associate with, you know, old men. And then this pretty young man with blonde wavy hair. Oh, that's so funny. I could give him an even worse name. I could give him a name like, I don't know. What's a really bad name that is never used anymore? I mean, apart from Septimus, we could do, I don't know why I'm drawing blanks here. I usually know of a lot of old names that are not used anymore. Whatever, Alfred will do the trick, I think. We'll stick with that. I have not played Neo. I do intend to play Neo. Since it was first released, which I think was in 2017, I've been wanting to play Neo. One of the reasons being that it was a Souls-like game not released by From Software, so I decided that I might actually like it. but I've never gotten around to playing it, which should indicate to you, given that it's been 3 years now, that I really don't have the time to be playing all these different games, so... Would I like to play Journey to the Nexus? That is a flat no. There's a blonde-haired character named Alfred in Bloodborne. Well, I'm officially pissed off, because now it looks like I'm referencing him. I didn't even know that character existed. What are the fucking chances of that, honestly? Unless that's a joke, but if there is actually a blonde character named Alfred in Bloodborne, wow. Certainly not what I was going for. Okay, so again, we are going to be getting the Spike Shield. We will have to go through World 1-1, just normally, because we can't get the Spike... Well, we can technically get the Spike Shield in World 1-1, but that is, as an enemy drop, that is, as far as I know, kind of rare. Instead, we're going to have to pick it up in World 1-2. That will be a guaranteed drop. It's on one of the Dragon Bridges, I think. But anyway, let's put away the Ed's Grindstone. We won't need that yet. And we'll make our way into World 1-1 right now. It's not a joke, okay. Even if I were to get a PS4 in the event the Demon's Souls, the remake, were to come out on it, I would not get Neo on the PS4. I would get it on Steam. It's on my Steam wish list, and it has been for a while. I think it has been on sale at least twice since I put it on my wish list, and that is not including the Steam summer sales, so... Still has not made it into my library, but whatever. It is what it is. I will mention the weather outside is insane at the moment. The wind is... It's one of those days where the wind is so high, so extreme, that you don't really want to go outside for fear of having a tree fall on you or something. It's one of those days. So, I'm just relaxing in here. I mean, I'll have to leave and get something to eat eventually, most likely. Actually, no, I'll probably cook something today. How about that? But, yeah. Crazy weather. Lots of rain, too. Which I enjoy, but I'll get away. But it's not the best for natural lighting, as you can see. It seems the green screen's doing alright. Hey, fuck off, will you? I'm trying to check my stream settings and you're here, making my life harder. Fuck off. Might adjust my microphone. That was the slightest adjustment. Yeah, come on. But yeah, even assuming, and let's admit there's probably a low chance at this point, but let's assume that I'm going to get Demon's Souls as it releases. The new one, that is to say. This series right here in the original game will not be dead. I'm not going to suddenly never stop returning to this original game. Because this is the game that I suppose grew up with in a way. I've played so much of it, and I've played it for so long that I can't just leave it behind just because it has a remake. If the remake were even half decent, it would be better than what we're playing right now. So, it sounds strange to say that I would still return to this, but I don't know. I've got an attachment to it. Ah, so if I do plan to play co-op with friends in Neo, I need to make sure that my in-game connection is set to limited. Because if it's set to global, it disconnects. It's a bug. Lovely. You'd think they would have fixed that by now. Maybe it's such a deeply ingrained bug that there is no patch fix for it that they could possibly release. Which is pretty sad. It is entering summer, Potato. But the weather right now is pretty rough. We are approaching the warmer weather, though. And sometimes that temperature change can bring about crazy weather. Or perhaps not. I'm not a fucking meteorologist, okay? But all I can say is that you're more or less correct, Potato. But it is still crazy weather here. So. And it's not super cold, but it's cold enough. I have to say, think it was last night, not last night, the night before. The weather changed drastically. I was lying in bed, sweating, because of how disgustingly humid it was. It was raining outside, but it was hot. It was like the fucking tropics, it was horrendous. And then around midnight, it just changed. It was no longer hot, it was cold. And I fell asleep nice and comfortably. So, yeah. I changed my sleeping schedule, by the way. I woke up at 5 in the morning today. And I'll be doing that from now on, possibly even as early as 4, depending on the day. Mainly due to the time changes in Europe, and wanting to continue watching anime with my friend, who lives in Slovenia. But, yeah. Usually I would have just woken up as I was recording here, but no. I've been awake for a while. Oh, fuck off, will you? But yeah. Instead of like 40 minutes of me being awake or less, it's about 4 hours, so I'm slightly... In fact, I'm probably not even any more alert than I would be had I just woken up, so it would be incorrect to say maybe I'm more alert now. I know that I'm not more alert, necessarily. I know I'm not. Good day. Well, yeah. I was considering having the remake be part of this series. It really depends on how different it is. That is what would determine whether or not I continued this series exactly as it is, as in same playlist, the Demon's Souls livestream series. Yeah, that is the determining factor. How different is it going to be? Visually, it's going to be incredibly different, but in terms of what we actually do in the game, if it's largely the same, then, yeah. Maybe it would be worthwhile doing that. I've definitely considered it. Stop hitting me with it. Oh my god. You know, fighting people on the stairs, doesn't matter what Souls game it is, maybe Dark Souls 3 is fine, but this game, Dark Souls, the original, and Dark Souls 2, honestly, a bloody pain to fight enemies on the stairs. It's just not right. Alright, I don't really need either of these things, but I'll cut it anyway. Actually, no, it is always nice to have access to the... whatever it's called. Ring of Herculean Strength. So I will take it. Why do you jump so far, sir? You know, I knew you were coming, but I thought that it would be sufficient to just walk away. Apparently fucking not. I'm not looking forward to not being able to skip World 4-1. I enjoy being able to do that. Because sometimes I just don't want to deal with those gold skeletons. It's not like I can't, it's just sometimes I'm like, nah, I don't really feel the need. And oftentimes you're so busy having to deal with those fucking rays, depending on whether or not you've got the Thief's Ring equipped, that it's just nicer to do a quick skip to the boss. But I'm sure they will have made that impossible. And yes, Broken Gate. Wait, Broken Gate? You mean Broken Arch, though? That, of course, that was intended to be, in this game, the DLC area. Just didn't happen. So that will be the case in the new Demon's Souls game. And whether or not that will be DLC or part of the vanilla game is yet to be seen. Whoa! Should have equipped the Thief's Ring before coming down here, perhaps, but they're only Dreglings, I should be okay. I should be okay. Except I'm Doomling, so probably not. Yeah, let's be careful. Got a nice look at Alfred's face. Yeah, because, I mean, I've talked about this a bajillion, trillion, quintillion fucking times. Because, you know, that's what I do. Welcome to the Doomling livestream. But basically, as I've said, there isn't enough content in this game to match up with the likes of even the first Dark Souls, but especially Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, if we're comparing vanilla content. So, therefore, I think to match up to what those other games had to offer, which is more important than ever, because it's not like any of the fucking people playing the remake have played the original, and if they have played the original, they've probably only played about as much as, you know, one Archstone's worth. So it's more important than ever for them to provide sufficient content to match up to that. So therefore, based on that, they will probably include the Land of the Giants. So, and then there will of course be DLC, because that's important. They need to sort of prolong interest in the game by having DLC, so they will have some other location most likely. Which, you know, and what they do with that would be very interesting, but we'll see what ends up happening. I could always be wrong, but logically that's what makes sense in my head. That is what makes sense in my head. What are you guys giving me? I think these guys do have a chance to drop the spiked shield, but it is a low chance. Maybe it's a specific enemy that drops the spiked shield. I don't know. I just know that you can get it in World 1.1 and 1.3 as a drop from enemies. Don't know why the Dreglings would have one though. Maybe it's not the Dreglings, maybe it's the Boletarian soldiers. That would make a whole lot more sense now that I think about it. Excuse me. Oh, right, yeah. Half moon grass. And whatever the hell this is. Oh. What's going on over here? I never look at these guys through this window, you know. I don't know why. I just never look at them. I can even target them from here. I wonder if you can shoot them with a crossbow, probably. Anyway. I say crossbow because I don't think you can get a bow at this point in the game. Maybe one of the builds starts with a bow, but I can only think of builds that start with the crossbow specifically. Get out of my face. Some kind of transformation. I feel like that would be too far removed from Demon Souls. I think that's the sort of thing you would be wanting from a game like Elden Ring. A game that does not need to be a remake of a specific game, because having a transformation for the character would not just be different to Demon Souls, it would be different to the Souls series in general. I mean, I suppose you mean like the Dragon Headstone, so okay, fair enough. So it actually wouldn't be out of character for the Souls series itself, but I don't know if they would add one. We'll see what happens anyway. Yeah, I had a feeling. Because we're on the stairs, can't parry properly. Actually, it was just poor timing back there. It's more like the riposta that is generally unreliable. Yeah, Dragon Headstone. I mean, they might have something like that. But I personally think the chances are low for that. Just because I don't think they're going to go too far away from what was already in the game. They will add certain weapons, but I don't think they'll add a whole new. I'm probably wrong about that. I suppose they would be willing to do that. With all the changes they've made visually, they might have the desire to make changes like that to the gameplay as well. Just bring something totally new in, which I don't think I would really want. Whatever. Because I'm a bit of a purist. When will I stream Breath of the Wild? Great question. I've been meaning to get started with that very soon. It will happen very soon. If not this week, then certainly the week after, but I would say there's a good chance that I will stream it this week. At some point. Because I need to get on that for myself. I need to get that game fucking finished. Because I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of the game, I'm sick of, like, recording the game. I'm sick of it being on my channel as a game that I'm recording. It's been this way for 3 years. It needs to stop. It needs to come to an end. Where is this dragon? Come on. Where are you? There you are. I must be blind. Or deaf. One of the two. Can you guys maybe stay away from me? You can get burnt, I don't really care. They both survive. I have to wait for the next pass. It's fucking annoying, isn't it? Yeah, hurry up. You can get affected by that last bit of fire, so you can't run too soon. There we go, those two guys got hit. I heard that one. Certainly heard that one. Yeah, 44 souls for my trouble. I was also locked out of my YouTube accounts. Milkshake, how about that? I didn't finish my Twilight Princess recordings. If you check, the last temple that I did was the one at Snow Peak. So I've got another, what, 2 dungeons after that, plus the end game content. So I've probably still got another 4 recordings left of that series, would be my guess. Maybe even 5. Each at about 4 to 6 hours in length. Probably not 6, but you know. Will you end the Breath of the Wild series right after the final boss, or the DLC? Well, ideally I would get started on the DLC before reaching the end of the game, and try to complete that to the best of my ability before fighting the final boss, because I don't really want to prolong the series after having killed the final boss. I would like to have killing the final boss be the last thing that I do. If it's not possible to do some of the DLC until you fought the final boss, then we'll just have to see. I really don't know yet. It depends on how ready I am to be done with it. Because I'm not going to be doing a 100% run. Let me make that clear. So, really depends on what happens, but if I can, theoretically, complete all the DLC before reaching the final boss, then I will do as much of the DLC as I would like to before fighting the final boss, and then I will have that be the end of the series. You had to reset everything. What I did, Milkshake, was I just completely abandoned Google Chrome, because Google Chrome specifically, did I forget to pull that lever? That's hilarious. I just abandoned Google Chrome because Firefox let me into my account. You see, this was the situation. Google Chrome did not give me the same verification options that all the other browsers gave me. For some reason it would not. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. Well, I won't go deeply into it because I already explained it in the last recording of this particular game. But basically, when I got locked out, which was for the same reason you did, evidently, they also thought I was an imposter of some kind. And, you know, they thought that there was software on my computer that was logging in and it wasn't me or something like that. It was very odd. I know what caused it. It was because I kept on VPNing and changing my internet connection and all that sort of thing. So it confused Google. But anyway, I could not log back in on Chrome. And someone on my Discord, can't remember who it was, suggested that I try Firefox or some other browser. So I tried in Firefox, and Firefox gave me a verification option that Chrome did not give me. And that was with my mobile phone. Google went and put something on my mobile phone. It was like, I had to maybe twice or 3 times press the number on my phone that corresponded with whatever was on the screen on my computer as I was logging in. And when I did that, that gave me access. Now, I decided that, and also, not only before this point, but also after this point, Google didn't give me this verification option. And so, that is Google Chrome. And so I decided, yeah, let's just move on to a new browser. I went and downloaded Vivaldi, which I've been wanting to do for a long time, and now I'm on Vivaldi. And of course, Vivaldi also gave me the same verification option, and now I have full access to my account again. Great. So basically, Google Chrome can go fuck itself, and quite honestly, Google can go fuck itself too, but I'm a little bit married to Google at this stage, especially given that I do have my YouTube account tied to it, haha. So, that's the way it has to be, sadly. But yeah, Google fucking sucks. Firefox is definitely not better than all other browsers, Potato. That would have been the case 9 years ago. It's not 9 years ago anymore, so... With all due respect, I'd recommend you branch out. Because Firefox pretty much shat the bed. I think it was, what? I think it was in 2013, 2014, Firefox completely shat the bed. And just turned into a joke. So... Anyway. Ah, so you can do the DLC before the final boss. That's good to know. With that taken into consideration, I will probably go ahead and work on the DLC once I feel like I'm getting towards the end of the game. So that way I can comfortably be done with it after having killed the final boss. That was A Gaming who recommended Firefox. From what I can tell, it wasn't specifically a Firefox trick, A Gaming, it's just the fact that Chrome specifically doesn't give you the same options as pretty much all other browsers, from what I can tell. I don't know why. I would guess Microsoft Edge would even give me that, which is a bit sad, but anyway. Firefox has gotten better again. Okay. Well, anyway. It's fucking loud birds outside, I'll tell you what. You'd think the wind would cause them to shut up, or maybe it's pissing them off, I don't know. Anyway. Let's go and consume these. Then... Well, do we want the lead demon soul? I don't think so. Don't think so. Let's return to the Nexus. Did I say I don't think so? I'm pretty sure we do. Whip out the gin. Alrighty. I wanted to show this bottle on stream actually, because I'm really impressed with the way this bottle is presented. So, this particular bottle is just really, really nice. See the shape of it? It's good. Something about the thinness of the neck compared to the shape of the bottle, and also the way that the end of it is shaped. I really like it. And also it's a cork, but it's not actually cork. It's, I suppose, hard plastic. But it's a nice, really nicely presented bottle of gin. I really like it. It's called St. George. Terroir gin? I'm embarrassed to not know how to pronounce that. T-E-R-R-O-I-R. It's probably a name, or a word rather, that I have heard, but not seen written, so I can't think of what that word is, but anyway. You want to marry that bottle? Well, it's a bit thin to stick your dick in, but like the entranceway. But I suppose you could cut off the, well, being careful of course. If you cut off the neck of the bottle and then stick your penis in what would be the shoulders of the bottle, I suppose would be a bit dangerous because then you'd have, you know, the glass, and that sort of hurts anyway. Yeah. Penises plus glass don't work too well. Is that vinegar? No, it's gin. Drinking straight vinegar is not quite my thing. You'd probably be seeing a lot of from me if I were drinking straight vinegar. Alright, Thief's Ring, and we don't need the Cling Ring because, in fact, I really would have done better to equip both of the rings that I had there, but I chose not to for some fucking reason. Okay, equip Half Moon Grass, don't need Late Moon Grass just yet. And we will consume the lead demon soul because I don't think we need it for anything. We would use it for the scraping spear, and I think that's it. I think that's the only thing you get from the lead demon soul. So. What does gin taste like? Depends on the gin. A lot of them have botanicals infused in them, so they're very, of course that is to say, flowers and things like that. Herbs, flowers. Herbal and floral, I guess would be the term. It's basically, imagine, you know, you've got your alcoholic taste, but you've also got a very floral, clean taste. It's hard to describe. I suck at describing taste, I really do. It's not really comparable to anything I've had before. I suppose it's most comparable to, say, vodka, but even vodka has its own taste. But, I don't know. Pour me a glass, good sir. Okay, so it's now time for us to go and get the spiked shield. I don't know exactly... Well, let's level up first, but after we've leveled up, it will be time to do that. Oh, wait. I need to go to the monumental. But, yeah, I don't know exactly where the spiked shield is. I can't remember if I can't remember if it's on the first bridge or the second bridge, but it's on one of the two. So we'll see. I probably will have to gather rather dangerously, because I can't remember what corpse on which section of the bridge has the spiked shield, so therefore I'll be at risk of being killed by the dragon the whole time. Not really looking forward to that, but the solution is to just play smart, I suppose. Playing smart would be working out exactly which corpse it was, but I haven't done that, so I'm playing semi-smart, I suppose you could say. I miss being able to head up there and getting a, what do you call it? Free Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. We've got another one over there, so we'll go grab that. Whatever works. Okay. Thank you very much. I guess I'm thanking myself, I don't know. Or am I thanking the game for giving me one? I'm not sure. It's not like it was really given to me. I sort of went and took it. But because it was there, I guess they technically gave it to me? I don't know. I wonder about these things sometimes. Doom Link's mind is filled with wonder as he considers things that are ultimately unimportant. Yeah. Okay, so... Spiked Shield... No, not Spiked Shield time yet, Doom Link. You're getting ahead of yourself for the 2nd, 3rd or 5th time. Or 8th time in this recording. You instead need to level up and then find the Spiked Shield. Yes, give me the Ice Stones, whatever makes you happy. This is an offline fucking playthrough. Okay. She's saying something about, you know, the soul of the mind, key to life's ether, soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel, let strength be granted so the world might be mended, so the world might be mended. Something like that. But, yeah. How much dexterity do we want? Do we have a strength requirement for the shield? Let's find out. Doesn't appear to. Well, it does have a requirement, technically, but we've met that with 11 strength. And it has a 14 dexterity requirement. Interesting. Very interesting. I could thank the universe for the existence of Jinn. I probably couldn't thank the universe for me having bought it. It's hard to know. But I do see your point. I could technically thank the bottle shop for supplying it. The point is, of course, that they didn't need to give me a free Stone of Ephemeral Eyes in the Nexus, so I can thank the game developers for giving me that. Even though I had to go and get it. They didn't provide it 100%, but the fact that it was there was a type of providence, so therefore I can thank them for that. I don't know. Let's get 20 dexterity, and then vitality, I guess? We're at a point now where we can level up quite a bit. That initial level up is a big deal. It's always important to know what you want to level up with that initial level up, because you get a lot of points earlier on, after having only completed one Archstone. It's quite a lot. Because of course the requirement is so low. I said one Archstone, I meant one Archstone section. Yeah, we haven't completed the whole fucking Archstone yet. Have we killed the False King with an unupgraded falchion? I don't think so. I don't believe that happened. I might have, you know, stopped paying attention for a short while and maybe I just happened to kill the False King with an unupgraded falchion, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. So we will probably just continue through this as normal, although what we could possibly do instead is once we get the spike shield, we can go and try to upgrade it, because quite frankly, we need as much damage as possible with that fucking weapon. It's, even at this point in the game, it's not going to be that great. It's, actually, it would be better than what we're using right now, probably, but still, that's not saying much. It will, now that I think about it, probably not, because while it would do technically more damage than our falchion right now, I think it would not have the same, how do I say, attack speed? That is not the word that I was looking for, but it does describe what I was meaning to describe. So, anyway, go. Hit him. Getting bleed on the weird blob things. The fact that they're capable of bleeding is bizarre to me. Because, you know, they're blobs. Okay. Dragon time. I'm not gonna go yet. I will wait for you to come. Maybe it would have been smarter to just go. Yeah, it would have been smarter to go, I think. I would have made that. I could have done a fucking dance and made it. Let's pick everything up. If I get hit, too bad. Too fucking bad. Winged spear. Okay, so winged spear is on the first bridge, which means, well, the first section. So therefore the... Oh, did I die? No. How much HP do we have? 3. I'm just waiting for that moment when I get 1 HP after getting hit. It'll happen eventually. And we'll throw a small party between... Well, thank God I didn't accidentally use that. We'll throw a small party between the few of us who are watching when that happens. What will the festivities be? Doomlink going, yay, I got 1 HP, and that would be the extent of it. And then also Doomlink saying, let's have a party. That would be the extent of the festivities, I think. Which I think is, in turn, less than sufficient. Okay, so as far as where the spike shield is, I don't know yet. Actually, I probably should have been a little smarter with that. No, it's not there, and I know it's not that one. Okay. So, I'm gonna hurt myself doing this, aren't I? This was a bad idea. Terrible idea. Letting myself get hit, that's fine. I don't mind. Spike shield? Yeah, there it is. Heal. I'm going back anyway. Gonna get hit? Ah! Hey. Very good. Very good. Broken sword. Okay, so spike shield. Let's do this. This is now our weapon. Look at this thing. Look at it. Did you just see how I attacked with it? It's like a slap. It's not really a strike. It's the perfect sound. It looks very... It looks like a sissy maneuver. This looks a little bit more masculine, like... Whereas this is... If you see what I mean. So yes, it is definitely better for us to be going two-handed with this fucking thing. So what is our damage two-handed? 89. Oh dear. The falchion's better. And let me make it very clear that the falchion's not very good at this stage. Like, it's okay, it does the job, but it's not... It's passable. And this is worse. So... Great. I suppose the reason why is because the falchion has better scaling with dexterity. God damn. Hey Arthur, haven't seen you for a while. I suppose it is an earlier stream. Earlier, yeah. Somewhat. Alright, we've got the spike shield. I'm less than excited, especially after having seen its damage right at the beginning. I think we just have to admit that this is not going to be a New Game Plus build. Like, we are not doing New Game Plus with this shit. I might, for fun, but it's going to be really painful if that happens. Really painful. So, don't expect to see a New Game Plus playthrough of this for a while. Because this is going to be bad enough in New Game. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is returning so that I can go and level this thing up. I believe it levels up through Hardstone, so... Should be... And sorry, Sharpstone, because it is a dexterity scaling weapon. Silly me. I'm just thinking, if I really should... Well, let me make sure that this is a good decision to take. So basically, Sharp Spiked Shield plus 4 is 112 damage with an A scaling in Dexterity. That's pretty bad. We're not getting it to plus 5 because that requires pure Bladestone. Not happening. Sorry. If it happens, it would be a completely... It would be an incredible moment of, wow, that actually happened. The chances of it, very low. The Spiked Shield plus 10 is 160 damage with a C scaling in Dexterity. My thinking is that it will be better for us to get to plus 10 in the regular path with the Spiked Shield than get Bladestone. So, that's what we'll be doing. Let's do it. We can buy that last... Actually, no, we need 500 souls for that, don't we? Shit. Because it's 500 souls per Sharpstone in World 2-1. Will I stream Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin? It will happen eventually, certainly. Don't expect to see it anytime soon, though. Let me make that very clear. I guess I can still shield with this... Oh my god, look at him. Oh, please don't hit me. What is it about this shield that makes the wielder look so pathetic? That's... Oh, look at that. Now that is a man's punch. Yeah, that's the impression that I'm given by those animations. Anyway, let's continue. In fact, we may get the last shard of Sharpstone killing these guys up here, so... We'll see what happens. Going two-handed again. In fact, we'll put away this fucking shield, we don't need it. There we go. I do want another spiked shield on my back, just for fun. Oh, stop it. What'll we... Okay. Hit the back, please. No. There we go. It's a little better, isn't it? Shard of Hearthstone, not quite what I wanted. Not quite what I wanted. It actually attacks fairly quickly. Yeah, this is faster than I thought. It's about the same as... Yeah, that's actually much faster than I thought that it would be. So this isn't too terrible. It's not great, but it's not too terrible. This is about on par with a fist weapon, though, when it comes to range. That much is clear. You could do a voiceover for a hentai scene by yourself. I could do that, certainly. Hello, Carl Pruitt. Welcome. Can I get around you? Thank you. There we go. For some reason, this guy has not decided to turn around to face me. I don't know why. Oh, it's because I'm using the Thief's Ring. But I thought I was using the Thief's Ring before. Yeah, I was. So what the fuck is the deal with this one? Maybe he was taking a nap. Or something like that. Did we get the Sharpstone? We did. Okay, let's go level this thing up. I know it looks as if I'm wasting your time. Oh, he's going back again, is he? Yeah. Because I want a better fucking weapon to take on World 1 too. I'm sorry. And to be honest, it's not too bad. It's worse than the Falchion, technically. But it's not too bad. It's gonna get bad. Don't worry about that. It's gonna get bad, but for now, it's passable. And as far as a voiceover for a hentai scene, I don't think I'd be doing, you know, the moans. Someone else can do the moans. I'll do the sweet nothings, like, oh my god, it's so hard, and things like that. With that level of emotion as well. Wouldn't that be funny? I'd just ask some studio doing a hentai. I'd just say, can you give me a version of this, but with no voice acting? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. Again, this is my hypothetical imagination here. This wouldn't actually happen in real life. Then they'd give it to me. And then I'd release it with my lovely voiceovers. I think we've got an idea on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. So, unfortunately, unless I had souls... Oh, fuck me. Hey, I had souls to consume. I could have actually done that. I'm sorry for wasting your time, guys. Like, really. What can I say? Okay, let's go back. Seeing as though we're pretty much right next to the Archstone. I suppose so. It's usually how it is, isn't it? But I would imagine that there has to be some kind of entertainment factor in the game itself. But I do notice that a lot of you guys still tune into games that you don't really know much about, which I do appreciate. If I were to describe myself as a streamer, which I don't, I would be what you'd call a variety streamer, and those people do struggle to get by sometimes. Certain people do succeed with that, but other people really don't. So it's encouraging to have your support, I suppose. Don't worry about it, Artily. Really. It's not the kind of conversation that we need to dwell on for any longer than we have so far. God, it is very windy outside. I've said this before, but I'm commenting on it again because it really is very windy. What are you doing? So it seems that when the spike shield makes contact with something in particular, he sort of swings it more to the side. It's... I don't know. I think that would be true. You have my sword, and you have my bow, and my axe. Or something like that. Or I could do my silly voice. You have my axe. Anyway. Should we talk to Ostrava? I think we should. Why not? Why don't we say hello? Half-moon grass, I'll take that. Why the hell not? Got 20 of it now, which I believe is what we had when we first came into this place. Look. That looked very bizarre when we picked that item up. The spike shield sort of turns around and it looks as if it's going to stab us or something. In fact, if it were realistic, it would be stabbing us, I think. Anyway. Well, I suppose if it were realistic, it wouldn't be clipping through my fucking arm. So, there's that. Run, asshole. You're not going to make it because you weren't running properly. You fucking fool. Well, I'm not going to have 20 half-moon grass anymore. Because I've decided to be a fool. Alright, let's use the rest. Or rather, heal the rest of our health with present moon grass. In that context, it made it sound as if I said, let's use the rest of our fucking half-moon grass. No, certainly not. Certainly not. Breathe your fire. Come on. Alright. Oh, a little sleepy. Alright, catch you later, Artily. I suppose that's why you never turn up, because you're usually asleep by this time. I'm usually not even live by this time. Take that. How does it feel to just get bashed by a spiky thing and die? How does it feel? Probably feels pretty embarrassing. Would be my guess. Hello. Oh, I mean, I could shield. Yeah, I'm shielding you, yeah. It's not a bad idea, really. Hey, look at that. For little things like crossbow bolts, that's perfectly viable. And I suppose as we upgrade this thing, it can be used better as a shield also. What's its current guard break? It is 45. Not good, but that will definitely do the job for things like crossbow bolts. So, why not? Oh, mum stuff calls. Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. Catch you later. Oh, having children is such a joy, isn't it? Well, it's not a joy for the first 4 years, or maybe even for the first 10, but, you know. Apparently it's rewarding eventually, I don't know. Not for everyone. That's why you should have a license for having children, because you got all those fucking people who actually shouldn't have children, that have children anyway, and they raise retarded fucking kids. Or kids with emotional problems. And you sit there going, you know, if they had everyone get a license to have children, imagine how much better the world would be. I mean, it's probably a pretty silly thing to say, because, you know, how could you realistically enforce that? There would be moral issues and such, but the point is that I think we'd all be better off. Maybe only some of us, but come on, let me parry you, because this is turning into an issue. I'm being really dumb. Come on, heal, heal, heal. I know I've got those guys doing that, okay. Here we go. But all I want is for people who truly want to have children to be the ones having children, whereas oftentimes it's not really how it is. And you've also got the people who think they want children, but as soon as they actually have the fucking child, then they find out they have responsibilities, and they can't really handle them. Yeah, I know, I was destined to die there because of my performance. Basically, that particular thrusting attack is just too difficult to deal with for the reason that it is a prolonged hitbox, and it's a big hitbox. So, can't ever see yourself as a father? I could see myself as a father, but I can't see much else working for me, as far as parenting is concerned. I've got a bit too much to do in my own life, let alone dedicate that to a child, you know. Oh no, things change, situations change. Next thing you know, you find a woman, and then next thing you know, let's have a kid, and then you go, yeah, fine. And then all of a sudden your life turns upside down. It happens very easily. But let's not dwell on that. I don't want to use my Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, so I will not. Welcome back, Carl. Pruitt? Mr. Pruitt. Keep away. Damn you. But yeah, I know why I died there. It's fine. All we have to do is just try not to repeat our mistake again. I will this time wait for the dragon, because he does appear on the bridge much faster. Oh dear. Okay, bridge number 2. It's all about patience, you know. And that's the Soul series in general. That's the biggest skill that you learn in the Soul series. It's not, well, I suppose learning how to play the game is very important as far as how the controls work, certainly. But what will be the difference between dying and living, in my opinion, is patience. Stop it. Stop. This looks really silly. The way he hides his whole body behind this tiny shield. Look at it. Look how much he has to do to hide behind it. I don't know. Maybe to some of you it looks perfectly fine. To me, it looks silly. Would I do it any other way? No. I'm not blaming anyone for how it looks, I'm just saying it looks silly. Alright, can we make it without getting attacked by the dragon? I think so. I think so. Got our souls back. Let's try to kill these guys. Can we do it? I think so. Don't know what that sound was. Sheer terror, I suppose. Wow, I'm not doing so well, am I? Let's try to time this properly. Can you stop with your fucking damage? I mean, I understand that you're very strong. See that fucking hitbox? Not a fan. I can't backstab with this thing, because... Wow. Can I really not backstab with this? No. Cannot be done. Good to know. Can I riposta? My guess is no. No, this thing cannot backstab, cannot riposta. Good to know. I've learnt something today. Hey, that works too. Okay. I didn't think it could. I didn't think backstabs and ripostas were possible with shields, but I haven't used shields as weapons enough to really have that deeply ingrained in me, so what am I doing? That was a bad idea. Silly me. That was a strange muscle memory tweak there. Yeah, that works, doesn't it? I can actually use it as a shield while also having it be a weapon, which is a strange idea for me, but it does actually work. See this here? Isn't that cool? This is actually really nice. You can heal, I don't mind. I'm having fun with this confrontation. Take this. You can also break his guard eventually too. Who's my favourite evil video game jester? You're not wrong about that being specific, Potato. My favourite evil video game jester. I don't think I have one, because I can't think of any. If you mean evil comic relief characters, I don't know. But from video games? I guess I don't play enough video games to really speak to that, but yeah. The answer would be, I don't have one, I suppose. Doomlink has discovered how to use a shield as a shield, that's right. The thing is, I'm so used to, in my mind I thought, that if you were to use a shield as an offensive weapon, you would have to commit to that. But in fact, even with a sword, you can shield with a sword when it's two-handed. So of course, if you choose to two-hand a shield in your right hand, you can still shield with it. And because it's a shield, it can shield. Isn't that an amazing thing? Quite simple, but it had escaped me. So, there we go. We all need to learn, don't we? You can think of 3 right now. Dementio, or Dementio, never heard of him. Mark's never heard of him, except the guy who has your name, Carl Pruitt. But, and Jevil, or Yevil, or Hevil. I hate the J letter. But, yeah, I don't know any of them, so there you go. You should be offended, Potato. You should be offended. Shame I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy games, so I can't be offended with you. Well, I've technically played the Final Fantasy games, not the real ones though. I've played the ones that are kind of Final Fantasy games, but not really. Even though they say, you know, things like Final Fantasy 13. I mean, you would think that something like Final Fantasy 13 would be an actual real Final Fantasy game. It's not. And people think it is, but it's not. And also, the Crystal Bearers. Yeah, what a game. What a game. That was a painful fucking Let's Play that came to an end, thanks to Square Enix. Isn't that a hilarious thought? You know, I hated the fucking game, and I was going to finish it. And then Square Enix was like, no, we're going to give you... Well, no, we're going to... I was going to say, give you a copyright strike. They didn't do that. They just blocked the video in all countries, and they were like, too bad. They didn't say that, but that's how I felt at the time. So the point is that Square Enix not only made a game that was so fucking shit that I was struggling to play, but they also stopped me from sharing it with people. So, yeah. Whatever. Maybe Square Enix made a calculated decision to block my right to play the game for you, because I was speaking ill of it. I would doubt that. There's about a 0.5% chance of that being the case. But still, it was pretty funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but I've gotten over it now. The Let's Play is over. I don't really care. Final Fantasy 13 was one of the worst games I've ever played. Yeah, me too. And I had a fucking guy, I swear to God. Let me just paint the picture for you. I'm playing this game that is just honestly a huge bore. I'm falling asleep, but trying to remain entertaining while recording the fucking thing. And I'm being given all of this information on how to play the game. And then I start you know, playing the game with this information. This is after that corridor simulator bullshit at the start of the game. This is when you're in that snowy area. And I'm missing certain things on how to play the game. You know, there are certain aspects to it that I'm not understanding. And then there was this guy who was obviously a huge fan of the game that was watching my recording of it. God knows why, because I was constantly making fun of it. And he was just there giving me advice on how to play it properly the whole time. And the last recording that I did of the game before I just decided to put it down was, he said something along the lines of, it seems that you're struggling and you're a bit slow when it comes to learning how to play the game. I'm like, yeah, because it's such a bad fucking game that I have no interest in actually learning how to play it. If I can't get it with minimal effort, like bare minimum fucking effort, and I start playing kind of badly, like, that's just how it has to be. If the game's good, I'll learn how to play it and I'll do it well. But if the game feels like a waste of my life, no, I'm not going to put effort into learning how to play it. So, it was just a really funny way to end it. But, that was Final Fantasy XIII. The most boring turn-based game I've ever played. And I've played a few, not recently, but... Okay, we'll say that in the previous decade, the 2010s decade, that was the most boring fucking game. Turn-based that I'd ever played. So, there you go. It was awful. And I suppose you could call it turn-based. It was a little strange. I suppose you would call it partially turn-based. Action-packed turn-based. Anyway. Not a good game. And certainly not Final Fantasy. Or at least not Final Fantasy as it was even 6 years before. Alright. We don't really need any of this. Don't upgrade. We can upgrade this. Well, not yet, but what I'll do is I'll prioritize upgrading this for now. So, what did I need? I think I needed 6, so therefore we need to buy 4. I hope I'm right about it, as far as my memory of it. I think I needed 6 and I had 2. But anyway. Final Fantasy 16. Well, fortunately I have no stake in the matter because I haven't really played the series, so if it's bad, then whatever, and if it's good, then whatever. So, but for your sake, I hope it's good. We'll say that. If he wasn't working on it, I wouldn't pay any attention to it. Sounds like the right thing to do. So, I suppose Final Fantasy XIV was good then. That's the MMO, isn't it? Which one's the MMO? I thought it was 14. Anyway. What did we need? We need 4. I mean, I'm not buying more because I don't have the souls for it, quite frankly. What was the MMO? Was it intended to be part of the main series, or was it a side thing, similar to how the Elder Scrolls Online game was a side thing to the main series? 14 is an MMO yet. Which is bizarre to me. I don't know how you can have a series that is like not online at all, and then suddenly have the 14th one be an MMO, and then stop doing that. All of a sudden, it's not an MMO series anymore. At least I'm guessing that's how they did it. It's very odd. Why couldn't they just have an MMO Final Fantasy game in the same way they did that with the Elder Scrolls series? It was a different branch of ZeniMax that did Elder Scrolls Online, but still, like, it's not like Elder Scrolls 5 was an MMO and then, or sorry, Elder Scrolls 6 was an MMO and then they would make Elder Scrolls 7 a single player again. It's not like they did that. So, why does Final Fantasy need to do that? I'm not saying that Final Fantasy needs to do what other people are doing, I'm just saying that I don't see a reason for them to do it. And I feel like Bethesda / ZeniMax didn't do that because it was dumb to do that. Or rather, it would be dumb to do it. We don't need this, do we? I don't think so. It's all about the souls at the moment. Oh, 11 was also an MMO. God, I have to tell you, I'm not keeping track. of the Final Fantasy games. I think when I first paid attention to Final Fantasy, the newest one was 7 or something like that. And even then I didn't know what was going on. So... And then I remember 13 coming out, and... When 13 came out, it was a big deal. Or was that 12? One of them was a big deal, but I remember 12... I think I remember 13 coming out. Whenever that was, 2011 or something. And 13... I didn't hear negative aspect... Like, I heard hype. There was a lot of hype around its release. I didn't hear any impressions of it. I didn't hear people saying it was great. I didn't hear people saying it was bad. I just heard people saying, ooh, Final Fantasy 13 is coming out. Wow. Woo. A lot of excitement. I can imagine the people being excited for it, playing it, and being really fucking disappointed. So... yeah, condolences to them. Of course, the long-running joke of, well, if it's the Final Fantasy, then why are there 15 of them? Well, that is a good question. Maybe pick a better series name next time. The original Final Fantasy game. Well, I guess this is going to be the only one. And then the second one comes out. Shit, okay, so I guess this is like the Final Fantasy Part 2. And the third one comes out. Ooh, wow. This is a long, you know, fantasy for the final one, and then 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Okay, I get the point. There is no Final Fantasy. It's the endless fantasy that we just happen to call Final Fantasy. Anyway. Spiked Shield +3. Am I content with this? Am I happy with only having +3? And continuing it into World 1. I'm really not. Okay, we have enough money to do this. Well, I say money, souls. Let's go and prioritize upgrading the weapon. Because really, upgrading dexterity is not going to equate to much additional damage with this shield anyway, because we're only going to have as much as a C scaling for this particular weapon, so... Damn. 14 was almost scrapped at launch because of how terrible it was. Then the current director of the game stepped in and rebuilt it from the ground up. Wow. That doesn't look good on the resume. So I think we needed 6. Let's get that. We can go upgrade with Ed. He's closer. Oh shit, I can't get down there. Wish I could do that Castlevania crouch kick thing. Ah, I see. They chose Final Fantasy because Square almost shut down, and the first Final Fantasy was supposed to be their final game, and it ended up doing so well it saved the company. That's a good story. That's a good story. I like that. Isn't that interesting? I didn't know the history of them. Alright. So we are doing 132 damage. It's not terrible. It's not particularly good either. I have to tell you, I'm so hungry right now. I'm actually starving. And I was drinking gin before I started this recording, so I'm like, what? I'm a little bit at the moment, but do forgive me for that. Okay, so I think we are ready for World 2-1. There's nothing... look, it's a very simple build that we're doing right now. Spiked Shield. As far as anything else that we do in the build, it's totally up to my discretion. I suppose we want something that will allow us to fast roll, but I don't know what that armor set would be. We could use... Actually, now that I think about it, we could go and get... Let's do that. Because we're not going to be using the Stones of Ephemeralize that we gather in this playthrough for purposes of taking down the worlds to Pure Black, or even one-off Pure Black for purposes of acquiring colorless Demon Souls, we can just go and rely on the Ring of Great Strength without worrying about, you know, not having a space for a Cling Ring if we die, because we'll just use a Stone of Ephemeralize each time we die anyway. And we won't worry about running out of them, or we won't need to worry about running out of them, because we won't be using them unnecessarily. Well, it was necessary in the other builds, but the point is that we won't be using them for purposes other than reviving after an untimely death. Or perhaps not untimely. A death that could have been avoided but wasn't because Doom Link sucked. Yeah, we won't be using stones. Well, we will be using stones for that purpose. The point is that we can use them for that, therefore we'll have enough. Welcome to the Doom Link livestream, where Doom Link explains things in the most convoluted ways possible. Get out your Doom Link dictionaries. You know, that's a very long-running joke of mine, the Doom Link dictionary. This is going back to around 2016. Maybe even 2015 when I coined that. The idea that when I explain things it's very fucking confusing, so sometimes you need a dictionary to see what the fuck I'm trying to communicate. I'm not doing too well, in case you noticed. Not that I really needed to tell you that. I just need to get used to using this thing as a shield. You know what I really need? It's not health, it's stamina. I need as much stamina as possible to be able to block and attack comfortably. Food is a great appetite suppressant if you're hungry. This is true. Like, I'm not going to deny that. I would be a fool to deny that. And I'll tell you what. Look at this. Hey, I'm playing the game properly, guys. It's just such a strange idea to use one weapon to shield and attack. So I can't really do it effectively because it goes against all of what I know. When I'm two-handing something, I don't have the option of shielding. That is what is so deeply ingrained in my mind that I struggle to fight against it. But I need to try and fight against that. Right here and now. That guy got sent flying. Hello. Stop. I understand that my death is important to you, but it's also important to me to not die, so therefore it's your desire versus my desire, and quite frankly my desire is backed up by more damage, so you're gonna die. That is the law of nature, or nature as it has been ordained by the nature of the game. I just used nature to refer to two different things, which is slightly confusing. Alrighty, so we are approaching the dragons over here. The red dragon will still be here. It's just when you complete, or perhaps even attempt World 1, 2, he stops attacking the bridge, but he'll still be hanging out over here. I don't know why that is. Makes no sense to me. Maybe it's to allow easier access to this point. I don't know. But either way, I'm not interested in the purple flame shield because I'm not going to be using the purple flame shield. I will be entirely focused on the... Oh, he's doing that. Okay, that's dangerous for me. Heal up. That tail is scaring me. Do what you need to do with the tail, sir. Is he smashing it now? Smash it. Smash it. Very good. Heal. Okay, good. You know what, that tail... I can't win. So just do your worst. Do your worst. I survived somehow. Let me make it very clear that I was not expecting to survive that. Not even remotely was I expecting to survive that. So therefore, I think I've done pretty well. Alrighty. We've also got 12,000 souls. Had I died there, that would have been fucking annoying because I would have had to go all the way back there and gather my souls. And I would have been sitting there going, how many souls did I even have? Should I even go back and get them? What am I doing with my life? That would have been the situation had I died, but that didn't eventuate. So here I am, on the other side of the situation, feeling really good about myself. Great. I can't wait to be that one guy, the one guy on planet Earth, playing the original version of Demon's Souls when everyone else is playing the remake, going, "This is the best game I've ever played." Can't wait for that. And as I've said before, I can't wait for people to come into this live stream expecting the new game and going, "This looks different, what's this?" And I'll be like, what do you think? What do you think this is? They'll be like, "It looks a bit like Demon's Souls." And I'll be like, "Yeah, it is Demon's Souls." And I'll be like, "Why does it say 2009? Didn't the game come out like a month ago?" And I'll be like, "Technically, yeah, there's a remake." And they'll be like, "It's a remake? There was an original version? What?" Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be happening. And I can't wait. Now, maybe some of them know that. Well, this is what I thought, Potato. I was thinking that with the remake on the horizon, I'd be getting a bump in the viewer count. Not happening. But maybe you're right in that I would get a bump in the viewer count when the remake comes out, but not for the right reason. It would be because they thought that this was me recording the remake, and then they'd come in and go, "Oh, what's this?" And then, you know, we would engage in what I just previously illustrated, and then that would be the end of their viewership. Most likely, I don't know. But maybe they would be interested in the original version. I would doubt it personally. But maybe once the excitement of the remake wears off, maybe there'll be an interest in the original version. I've got no idea. I cannot predict the ways of people, because that is not my area of expertise. Let's put some points into endurance. Yeah. Beautiful. Endurance. I'm so French. Endurance. Okay, so, again, World 2-1. We're not going to do too much damage to the enemies in World 2-1, let me make that very clear. But we'll do what we can. We're doing 135 damage with this weapon. We've got fairly good stamina, I guess, yeah. Okay, let's do this. Hey, that's good. I'm glad your internet is working well. Of course, I mean, I've said this before, but even if you don't have a 1440p display, it's important to watch in 1440p if you can actually stream it comfortably on your end. Because for some reason YouTube does not allocate sufficient bitrate to 1080p video, even if the source is at 1080p. Even if I'm streaming at 1080p, it just doesn't look good. But there are less artifacts for 1440p video, so that's why I'm streaming 1440. So if you can manage it, do that. Would highly recommend it. Hey! Seems like impact damage is good against these guys. So they're specifically resistant to slashing, but impact and piercing works well. Good to know. I don't know if you saw that, but I attacked, and that worked as a shielding maneuver for this guy. Isn't that interesting? That happened again. I didn't notice that. That might have happened before and I didn't notice it, but yeah, it seems that if we are in the middle of an attack animation, it works as a shielding maneuver, which is weird. But anyway, isn't this fun? This is totally different from what I'm used to doing. Maybe everything is strange to you guys because you don't play this game, but I mean, I think some of you do, but most of you don't. That's going to change. You know, I've said this before, but one of the reasons why I love recording this game is that no one does the backseat playing thing, where they go, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing it?" Like, as if I haven't fucking considered it already. That will happen whenever I record the other games. But it doesn't happen with this game because not as many people have played it. But as soon as the remake comes out, hallelujah, everyone's going to be an expert. Everyone's going to be an expert, and they're all going to want to ask why I'm not doing this, why I'm not doing that, and I'm going to be sitting here going, shut up. Shut your mouth, please. I don't know. I enjoy the occasional piece of information that I might not know, but I hate it when I actually have a very clear image in my mind of what I'm doing, and then people want to say, why aren't you doing this? It's like, because I don't want to do that, because it doesn't fit into what I'm aiming to achieve, because it's not how I play, because it's not, you know, etc, etc. So, I'm not really looking forward to that. But maybe I'm being a little bit worst case scenario, and it wouldn't actually happen that way. We'll see. Is it worth going over there? Yeah, let's do it. We need some sharp stone anyway. And I would like to go and say hello to the bag carrying scale miners. I don't know how I fucked that up, I really don't. Oh, you mean, Satsuki, yeah. I don't think I'll do that. Potato says, you've been playing this game since before a lot of the remake players have been alive. Jesus. I guess that's true for some of them. I wouldn't say a lot of them, but I'd say some that might be true. Scary thought. Scary thought. But you're right. There's gonna be some fucking, you know, 10, 11-year-olds out there playing the game. Maybe even younger. So, scary thought. But I would say the vast majority of them will be, you know, over the age of 16. Okay, over the age of 14, we'll say. You know, who, well, I guess the rich kids would afford it, but I was going to say, who at the age of 14 is going to get a PS5 on launch? And I'm sitting here going, like, obviously, there's going to be some rich kids who get it, but the point is that I wouldn't say a lot. I think a lot is a strong word. Alright, so there's going to be another guy with a bag, not here, but over the other way. They make such gross noises when they die. I can't wait to be that fucking 50-year-old man still playing this game like, I remember when this game was brand new and it had a community. You know, by that time, isn't it frightening that by that time people will be looking back on the remake with nostalgia, going, I remember the time when Demon's Souls got a remake. And I'll be sitting here like, you can shut up. I was playing the original one long before you. And then we can have an old man fight, you know. I can't wait for that point in my life. That would be a great time. Anyway. Let's just continue with this, shall we? Without speaking about such embarrassing future moments. Where is my gin? That's something I'll be saying at age 52, you know. Where's my gin? I need more. Oh, fucking hell. And I won't be sounding like that at age 50. I won't be sounding too different at age 50 than how I'm sounding right now. By age 80 I might start sounding like I was. You know, that business. I do wonder how long I'll be able to retain my voice. It does actually change depending on the person, but I'm thinking I'll be able to retain it for a while. I mean, it will definitely get, like when I'm around age 35, 40, it will definitely get more of a mature edge to it, but it's not going to drastically change. I will say that you can hear in my recordings, even, you know, 2015, 2016, I don't sound quite the same, but it's because I learnt how to speak a little differently. It's just a different way to communicate. I sort of worked on my voice to speak a certain way. And we all do that, to a certain degree. But especially if you're someone like me who makes, you know, videos where you talk. You just learn to speak a certain way. And this is the way I learn to speak. So therefore, you know, you access a certain part of your voice. And it just becomes natural to speak like that. That's why my voice sounds a little bit lighter. I mean, I can speak a whole lot lighter now, even now. But I wouldn't do that, because it's not natural. It actually feels gross to do that, because it's not natural to me. So, you know, lighter voice, softer. It wasn't, you know, you wouldn't hear me speak 5 years ago and have the difference be on account of age. It wouldn't be like an age thing. It would purely be just, you know, my voice had gone through its necessary changes a few years before that point. But, that is to say, through puberty, but what really changed was how I spoke, using what I had available. Oh no, 50 years from now, retirement homes will be filled with Mario Kart. You're quite right. You know what's really strange? The whole idea that right now, old people are the people from before technology became what it is today. Imagine what it's going to be like when the people in retirement homes, for example, as you point out, are people who grew up in this technological era. What are their interests going to be? They're all going to be sitting on computers all day. Instead of sitting there playing fucking bingo, they're going to be on their computer. The internet is going to be filled with people in their retirement. I'm probably going to be one of those people. Isn't that crazy? I grew up on the internet. Like, my first experience on the internet, I suppose, was on a Windows XP machine. I had a Windows 95 cold PC, but my internet experience was on Windows XP. My Microsoft Office know-how was developed on Microsoft Office 2003. And, you know, at some point that's going to be the most, you know, this guy, guys, look, this guy is so fucking old. He was using Microsoft Office 2003. I'm talking 2080s here. I'm going to be some ancient decrepit thing. He witnessed the death of dial-up. Of course. I mean, some of us have nothing better to do now. But imagine when you're that old. You'll just be on your computer all day. Imagine that. On your computer all day until retirement, only to be on your computer all day. Oh man, can't wait for that. Ends Grindstone, what was that? I think it was 3. I suppose I should have said, how many was that? Would have been a little more clear. Can you just... come on. As it turns out, dogs are no less frustrating with a shield as a weapon. Who would have fucking thought? Okay. Almost done with 2-1. Sort of. I wonder what the boss is going to be like. Well, to be honest, Pablo, I think your brother would have been better off starting with Generations Ultimate. I don't think you're bad because ultimately I understand why you're letting him struggle without helping him. But I think you should help him because it's good for a person to learn through traditional Monster Hunter first. Because that's a great thing to do. If I had a person who was willing to play Generations Ultimate, especially with Rise on the horizon, I'd be encouraging that person and helping him because it's better to learn from traditional Monster Hunter. To have that as a baseline will set you up really well for Rise, for example. It would be more enjoyable to come into Rise with your knowledge of even 4th generation Monster Hunter than to come into Rise not knowing what the fuck's going on. And then, you know, it's better to have a clear perspective of how the series has evolved as well. If you're someone like me who started in 2nd gen, you've got no fucking hope, because you'll be sitting there going, oh Christ. Here I am, with this thing swinging around, grappling onto nothing. Well, no, I suppose some people who started in 2nd gen still don't mind that sort of thing, but I don't. And then there's also Potato's advice, which is let him experience the pain, he'll get it eventually. But the thing is, not everyone has the capacity to put up with adversity until they eventually get it. Those were the Monster Hunter players, the people who really knew what Monster Hunter meant, the people who got through the difficult times, eventually learned what was right, what was effective, and got good at the game. But I don't know, I think we're past that point now where Monster Hunter players are expected to do that, so if it's the difference between your brother continuing to play and then stopping from playing, I would say do whatever is necessary to keep him interested in Generations Ultimate, because he'll learn a lot. Over to you, though. World Fatalis is harder than original Fatalis. Potato, do you have experience with original Fatalis or only 4th gen Fatalis? Because those are two very different things as well. Although I would say that 4th generation Fatalis is harder than 1st and 2nd gen in certain ways, but overall, I don't know, they're both equally difficult, I would say, but in different ways. 4th gen Fatalis is equally as difficult in a much better way, in an actual monster combat way. Whereas, in the case of original Fatalis, it became difficult because you were struggling to not fall asleep the whole fucking time. Check prices on Wish. Wish. I mean, I don't know much about Wish, but fuck me if I'd buy a Switch on Wish. Fucking Wish.com. You almost cry. I'd cry too, quite frankly. 4th gen Fatalis was your first. Yeah, well. I suppose, isn't that crazy? Like, we're living in a world now where 4th gen Fatalis is classic Fatalis. That fucks with my head, it really does. You know, they weren't originally planning on bringing Fatalis to World. They really weren't. But some fucking assholes were like, I want Fatalis in World. You keep talking about Fatalis. I want him. I want to fight him. Fuck those people. World players don't deserve him. I thought that was Web. I mean, obviously I realised it wasn't Web pretty fucking quickly when the flames were visible. And I was expecting Web to come. Damage-wise, I'm not doing too bad at the moment. Alright. Armor Spider is not long for this world. I don't know how long I've been live for. An hour and 43. I think we'll stop after this. I kind of need to get food anyway. Or make food. That's funny. So basically, someone stole a Switch Lite from a game store in your local area, and your friend got it for his birthday. That's funny. There you go. May as well pick up the stuff here. Getting a few souls, not an amazing number, but better than nothing. Oh. Alright. So I think I will level up and finish this. As far as what armor set I will use for this build, I really don't know. I mean, anything that I can fast roll with. I guess I've got the Ring of Great Strength now, so I can probably get the Gloom set. Because I haven't used the Gloom set for a while. Anyway, let's go and consume some of these souls, shall we? We'll equip them all now. Make it nice and easy for myself. Alright. And with that, we have 11,822 souls.
Soul of the mind,
Key to life's ether.
Soul of the lost,
I guess I'll get you to 20 before I touch dexterity again. We'll keep strength at 11 because quite frankly, I want to leave strength alone. If all we need for the spiked shield is 11 strength, then for a spiked shield build, it would be best to stay at 11 strength. And just put the rest of the points in dexterity and vitality and endurance. Endurance being a higher priority as compared to vitality for the reason that I think being able to shield and attack with a weapon will, you know, deplete our stamina, but that probably doesn't really deplete our stamina that much more than, say, just having a shield in one hand and a sword in another hand, so maybe it's not that high of a priority, I don't know. It's probably all in my head. Anyway, that's it for this recording, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know what I'll be doing this week. I really don't know. I don't think I'll be recording too much. I'll record a little bit, but maybe 2 or 3 more recordings this week would be my guess. Don't expect like a recording every day. I've got a few things on my plate at the moment, but either way, I will see you next time I'm recording Demon Souls if you're focused on watching that, and if you want to watch my other stuff, then do feel free to do that. I'll see you when I see you in that regard. Thanks for joining me, Potato, Pablo, and everyone else. And yeah, that's it for the recording.